Hi guys, welcome to Chemo Glow, where the glow doesn't define me, I define the glow. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are so blessed that you guys come on and join us every Wednesday. So thank you again for joining us for our live. Please check out our YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And please share, follow, and subscribe. Also, check out our podcast where available. If you're interested on being on our show to share your glow, please email us at chemoglow@gmail.com. I want to give a special thanks to my guest last week. You can go back and check her out. She is on our feed, Miss Tasha Prescott, for the gifts that she sent to my girls, the little rosemary rabbits that I have back here that I had to hide before I give them to them on Friday. So check her out. They're part of the Cincy line that she has. So just check her out. Check out her thing from last week. It was great. Now, guys, guess what April is? Volunteer Month. Do you know how much volunteering I have done in my past 10 years? As you know, I'm going to be celebrating 10 years of volunteering, 10 years of being cancer-free, 10 years of marriage. So I thought that I would highlight some of the places that I've volunteered. And I'm currently volunteering for American Cancer Society again. Tracy Smith is going to be joining us on April 7th. That's next week. She's going to be talking about our campaign, Making Strides Against Breast Cancer, and Real Men Wear Pink. So I'm excited about having Tracy come on and talk about the fight against breast cancer. It is going to be a pleasure seeing her again. Also on April 14th, we're going to have Katarina and her co-founder, Jessica. They're the co-founders of Healing Pines Respite. Now, Katarina is in episode 17, Healing Without Boundaries. So make sure you join us on April 14th, where her and Jessica will be joining us. Another person I'm excited to announce who will be coming on is April Manning. She played a very big part in my healing and also volunteering. She is amazing. She is with UNC Cancer Center, and she's the center coordinator. She actually heads up the Young Survival Coalition support group that I was a part of. So I can't wait to hear from her. And closing out the month, we'll have another thriver who's coming on, Janine Jones. I can't wait for you guys to hear from her. She actually sits on the board with me for the Patient Family Advisor Council at UNC, of course, where I had all my treatment at, but I am also the VP of that advisory board. So make sure you check her out. And the person that I'm gonna bring on next at the end of the month that's gonna close it out is Dr. Susan Kinney. She is really making some big moves in this breast cancer world of ours. She is a breast imaging radiologist, and she's actually the director of breast services at UNC Rex. So I'm excited about her coming on. I know her personally, so I am happy that she'll be joining us and talking about some new technology that's going on with breast imaging. Now, before I bring on my guest, I would like to play a little excerpt from her podcast, episode 16. This is one of my favorite pictures. Her husband took this on her birthday, Impeccable Strength. Oh my goodness. Let's check it out. I remember my
Mhm.
sister calling me and she was like, Regina,
Yeah.
you have to call Africa. You have to. And I
Mhm.
said, this is what I
Mhm.
need you to do because
Mhm.
I know how I felt when I heard it.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I said, I haven't had a reoccurrence. And so
Mhm.
I can't imagine what you're feeling like right now. I said,
Mhm.
but if
Mhm.
you can get her and her husband to agree to come to the house, and
Yes,
my
I
sister's
remember
house,
that day.
I said,
Yes.
that's how I can talk to him because I need to look at her and her
Yes.
husband, Dana, because
Yes.
you don't
Yes.
go anywhere without the love of your life,
Right.
you know?
Right. Yes.
So I had to talk to you guys together.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I thought that
Um,
time was so special.
it was very special. It was very, you broke through, I didn't realize it, but I had this armor around me where I knew what I was dealing with, but I wasn't allowing myself to feel what I
Mm-hmm.
was dealing with. I
Mm-hmm.
had this shield around me where I just would not allow myself to go there.
Mm-hmm.
And when you spoke with us, and I didn't realize my husband was the same way. You
Mm-hmm.
shattered some things where we could really sit in it. We had to sit in what our
Mm-hmm.
situation was, and nobody wants to sit in a situation of cancer. You don't
Yes.
want to. And earlier that day, we had gone to a parade. There was a parade earlier that day. We went out to
Mm-hmm.
eat, and we were just coasting along. And you came with this sledgehammer, and that was the first time that I cried
Yeah.
when you spoke with us. I had someone who could totally emulate and totally grasp what I was going through. You were like a
Mm-hmm.
mirror to me. So I wasn't able to run away because you were a reflection of what I was going through.
Wow. Please welcome my guests, Africa and Dana Moore. Hi,
Hi.
guys.
How you doing?
Hi. I'm so excited to be here.
I am so excited to have you. Thank you for being on tonight. I really do appreciate it. That podcast was so special to me. And I picked that part of the excerpt out of that podcast just for you, Dana,
Oh,
because
okay.
you are so amazing. Like I said, Africa doesn't go anywhere without Dana, right?
No.
Side by side, right? And I love your love. You guys are going to be celebrating in May. What year are you on now?
24.
24
24
years.
years.
Yes.
Now, now on the podcast, Africa says she seen you first, and
Yeah,
she was the aggressor.
very aggressive.
What'd you do? What'd you do, Africa? Tell me about it. How'd you get
Oh,
24 years?
I did quite a few things to try to get his attention. It
Uh-huh.
took a little while, but everything is always in God's timing. So
Yes.
I just thank God for God's timing. I saw him walking down the hallway, and that was it. He walked with authority. I
Mm,
didn't understand it at the time, but now I know I was watching my destiny walk down the hallway, and I am so grateful and so glad that uh, that the Lord brought us together because He was definitely a part of my destiny.
yes. Yes, definitely he was. Now, Dana, 24 years. That is amazing. And every time I see you, you're always smiling no matter what. You're always talking about God's grace, God's mercy, and the amazing woman who's sitting right beside you.
Hmm.
Oh,
So before you guys, unfortunately, we have to share that we had cancer, right? That we're going through, and you're going through. Tell us a little bit about your life before the glow hit you.
okay. Are you talking to me or Dana?
Oh, you know what? I want to hear from Dana. How was your
Okay.
life before? What were you guys doing?
We was just being married, raising our children,
Uh huh.
just doing what married folks do.
How many
Going
kids
to
do you
work.
have?
Say that again. We got
How many
3
kids?
kids. They're not
Kids.
kids anymore. We have old kids.
Grown kids, right?
Yeah.
So you were raising a family, going to work, and Africa, where do you work at now? You've been there for a while.
Yes, I work with Cumberland County Schools. This is my 18th year
Ooh,
with Cumberland County Schools. I've been at E.E. Smith for about 10 years now.
about 10 years.
So it's been a while.
So you guys were working. You are also ministering to other folks. Tell us a little bit about that, Africa.
Well, the Lord blessed my husband and I to be able to teach and mentor on mime dancing.
Mm-hmm.
It was something that we kind of fell into together by accident. I was actually praise dancing on my own. And one day the Lord shared a song with me, and I wanted another person to do it with me. And the Lord reminded me that I had a husband who has a history of being a good dancer. And we just started doing it together. And it was something that we just loved. We loved doing. We were invited to multiple churches. We were ministering at funerals. We did. I've done a wedding. We did different church functions, and it was something we just enjoy doing, especially the teaching aspect, sharing what the Lord had invested in us with others.
And that's how I actually really got to know you, was through my sister, because you guys had is it considered a dance troupe or a dance um, thing on at Federal State?
Yes, it was their
Yes,
dance company up under the
dance
late
company.
Theo Escaline, who was an
Mhm.
awesome woman who poured into me, and I'm so grateful for her. As a matter of fact, I was speaking to your sister about that today.
Oh, you guys have been hanging tight for a while.
Yes.
And you guys actually dance together. You've done several events together, and you like to minister. And I always appreciate seeing you and my sister dance. It's like a gift. I can go and watch her dance anywhere. Now she's a little bit older, so, so we twirl just a little bit different,
Yeah,
but she
most
still has
definitely.
that grace. What did my sister say? She is the most beautiful dancer I know. You are.
Well, you know what? It takes a beautiful dancer to know one, because I
Yeah.
feel the same way about your sister.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And there was a reason why y'all met so many years ago, and the
Yes.
reason why we actually got connected. So you have your kids, your life is going on. You're actually a writer. Your husband is very supportive of your writing.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that. I know you stopped a little bit, but you're looking at starting up again.
Yes, I am the author of 4 books. One of them I think you have a picture of, that's on
Mhm.
the screen, Uncertain Devotion. It's about relationships. It's about being in the church. You're not able to escape from different issues, from different problems, just because you are in the church or involved in the church or have a religious background. So I've written 4 books, and it's something that I've just had to put off to the side to concentrate on the journey that I've been in. But the Lord has blessed me in the past year to begin again. And I am exploring. I already have 2 books that I've started already. So I'm looking forward to where these stories are going to go.
I'm glad that you're still writing, and I can't wait for you to publish those books. And Dana, do a little bit of short films there too. We talked about that
Oh,
last week.
yeah,
Yes.
we did. We did.
We are talking about some short films. I cannot wait. Now, Dana, we all know that you're an amazing husband, but now you have to be a caregiver to your wife. And I want to get your perspective on this, if you don't mind. All the things that you had planned, all the things that you had you were going through. Africa spoke on some of those things on our podcast. Can you tell me how you felt when you first heard the news?
Well, it's a thing where I'm that type of person that looks at the glass half full.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a thing where I didn't believe it
Mm-hmm.
until the doctor actually said it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it kind of everything just changed at that moment. And
Everything.
especially when he told me what stage she was in.
Yes. I,
You know,
I
I didn't know at the time, I didn't know much about cancer, but I did know the stage she in was not good.
yeah.
So immediately, just a whole bunch of things just ran through my mind. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
what am I going to do? What are my kids going to do? You know, what I'm going to do without my wife? What my kids going to do without their mother?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because when you hear that word, the C word, I don't even like to say it, but the C
Yeah.
word
Yeah.
is just, you just hear death.
Yeah. That's what you hear. That's what you feel. Africa talked about how for about 5 6 months you felt a lump in your breast. You kind of was like, coasting, everything's okay. And then a nurse at your school actually said, "Look, you need to go see a doctor," right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you made that first appointment, you made it at your where you live locally. So this is
Yeah.
the first time that you heard those words. You guys
Correct.
were together. And what type of treatment plan did they have for you?
The treatment plan, the first time I was offered, it was advised that it was best for me just to remove the breast. It was my
Mhm.
left breast to remove that breast. And as I said on the last podcast, through prayer and my husband confirming it, it was the right decision to remove both my breasts. So to have a bilateral, or what people call a double mastectomy.
Mhm. Okay. And after having surgery, what type of treatment did you have?
I did not have any treatment because the tumor was localized in one area,
Mm-hmm.
my left breast, and I wasn't a stage 4 the first time. I was stage 4 the second time. So the
Okay.
first time, because it had not spread into any other areas or lymph nodes, I was deemed cancer free after the mastectomy.
Okay. So after that, some time goes on. How long
Mhm.
between the time that you were being cancer free to the time that you realized something else was going on? What happened at that point?
Probably around 8 months later, uh, while standing in a mirror, I touched the area where there was another tumor.
Hmm.
Again, that was in the corner of my neck. I
Hmm.
just got out of the shower, was getting dressed for work. There was no reason for me to touch that area, but the Lord made sure I did.
Make
And I
sure you
felt
do.
that lump, and it didn't take me long the second time to go and speak to my oncologist about it.
So, what was life like, Dana, at that time before the second diagnosis? Because you guys are just getting through surgery, you're getting through the whole mental aspect of it. And then what was life like during that time before the second one, Dana?
Well, the first one or the second?
First.
The
First
before
one.
the second one.
Okay. So I can tell you what the day after that she
Okay.
had the surgery, the doctor spoke with me privately, and
Mm-hmm.
she told me, do not let Africa stay in the bed. After the surgery, she told me to get her out of the bed the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, as you can see, she's shaking her head. It was a tough day.
Woo!
She was still in the hospital bed. And I
Yeah.
literally, the next day, I had to go and get her out the bed, lift her out, help her out. I said, we have to walk.
Mm-hmm.
I walked her on that floor, around and around on that same floor. I think we took maybe about 4 or 5 laps around that
Mm-hmm.
floor. She was struggling the whole time, but I was right there with her, holding her up. She wanted to just quit and collapse. I was like, nope, let's go. And I
We're gonna
walked.
walk this out.
Yep.
And
And so,
go
so after
ahead.
that, fourth or fifth lap, I got her back to her bed, and of course, not only the pain, but she was totally exhausted. But she
Mm-hmm.
did. She did it.
Yeah. How long were you in the hospital after the first surgery?
After the first surgery, I think I was in the hospital, about 3 days after?
Yes.
After the surgery. And this is news to me, what he's saying as far as how many times we walked around.
See,
I
I love
remember
it.
I remember hearing, honey, come on, you got to get up.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember saying, how am I going to do this? But I got up. To me, it was only one lap. So
Mm-hmm.
him talking about multiple laps, I don't remember. I just know it was the most challenging walk of my life.
Yeah.
I remember that.
There's so many things that our husbands hear. There's so many conversations that they have with doctors that we don't hear. We're drugged up. We're emotionally not there. We have so many things going on, and I am so surprised about some of the stories that my husband tells me about the walk, about moving. I was just coasting, just
Yes.
trying to be present in that moment. So I totally get that. I understand that. So after that, you went home. Life,
Yes.
did it return back to what you considered normal right away?
Not at all. Not at
Not
all.
at
No. Basically, she was pretty much in the bed.
Yeah.
Uh, I was feeding her.
You can go there.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't.
He had to
You,
help
I had to help her in all ways. I'll put it that way.
some
yeah.
personal ways in
Yes,
which a
and
wife
yes,
would never think or never want her husband to help her. He did that for me.
yeah. So
Yeah.
still taking care of the kids. Still working.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much everything fell on my shoulders at that time. So, but I got strong shoulders, so I made it happen. I
Oh,
had
I
no choice.
love it. Um, how did someone say you get through your new way of life? And like you said, if you haven't listened to the podcast, Africa and her husband, they get up, they pray together, and they work out together. How many days a week y'all work out? 5 days a week. They don't play. You see, they didn't have to think about it. Now, if you ask me, when's the last time you've been on that bike, right? You guys truly do things together.
Yes, we do.
Together, healing, going through, and you guys had your family, your church family, and also you had friends that could kind of help you out. But when you're in the midst of that, and the reason why I asked is life go back to normal? Because a lot of people think once your hair grows back, the surgery is over with, give her about 2 weeks. They don't know what's on your shoulders.
No,
They don't know what you're going through. And
no.
Africa, during that time where your husband had to be your nurse, be your caregiver, do all the personal care. I know we had a couple of conversations about the things that are going to happen that your husband's going to do, the places he's going to see that he's never seen before.
Yes.
How did
Yes.
you handle that, sharing that moment with your husband?
Okay, now I'm getting emotional.
Okay, it's a safe
um,
space.
yes, it is. The friendship that we established before any of this happened had to be one of the most important aspects because I'm forever his wife,
Yeah.
but I wasn't able to live as his wife for a while. And that's in a lot of areas, in being his support, in cooking, in being that support that he needed.
Mhm.
All he showed me was unadulterated
Mm.
love and support.
Yeah.
He was my, he was everything that I needed, everything that God rolled up and prepared for me during this journey. I know the Lord knows all things. He's timeless. So he knew this was going to happen. So when I was in high school and I saw him walking down the hallway, I was seeing, not knowing at the time, the help that I was going to receive later. And it was very challenging at the same time not to be able to support someone and know he's doing all of these things to support me. It was very challenging, but it has solidified our marriage. Even though I thought our marriage was solidified, it's so much more solidified now. And he is, when I say he's my best friend, it's not cliche. He has proven to be my best friend.
I've seen that love. I've witnessed that love. And during the time, because you had surgery, but you didn't have any type of medication that you had to take afterwards,
No.
how were your kids reacting to mom, to dad? How are they reacting to that?
That was another issue with me. I kind of I see now that I kind of settled myself short because I was so angry with cancer and not wanting cancer to take anything else from me or
Mm,
my husband, my children, my parents, my sister and brother. A lot of times I shielded my family from what I was going through when I was in pain, when I was tired, because I didn't want them to have to worry about me.
mhm,
My children, I can tell you one situation that occurred. I was lying in the bed and I didn't want anybody to do anything for me. If it was in me to do something, I would do it. And
mhm,
one particular evening, my son Malik, he's our oldest son, he came and he saw me getting out of the bed. I was going to go to the kitchen, I think, to get some water. And he said, "I'll get it for you." And I said, "No, I'll get it. I'll get it." And he said, "Mom, why won't you let me help you?"
mm,
And the Holy Spirit arrested me and let me know that was his way of coping with what I was going through. He needed to help. Just him getting some water was him being able to balance what was going on for him. My family is very close. My children are very close. So I know a lot of this, a lot of times they had each other,
mhm,
but even now I can't tell you exactly how much this has affected my children. And that
mm,
is a part that is very, very hard for me because going through it myself, I can't imagine being a young person watching their mom go through what I went through and am still going through.
still
But
going.
to God be the glory, He's keeping them.
And you mentioned still going through. I want to go back to a question where they said, how do we get through to the new way of life? I remember us having that conversation. I remember somehow you called me or I called you. We always find a way to connect and have these conversations. And I don't know about you. I like my old way of life. So the new way,
Woo!
I was a little upset about. And I understand where you're coming from when you talk about your husband being there and doing those things and things that you can't do for yourself. You feel helpless, but you don't understand that your children, your family, your husband feels helpless because what do we want to do? We want to fix it, right? Your husband, you want to fix it. Dana, you want to make her well. You want to make sure she's taken care of. You want to make sure not just that you're providing, but you're spiritually there for your wife. But you have to take care of yourself too. And sometimes you get lost. We just had a conversation last night where I was like, if you need anything, if you want to talk to my husband or do whatever, and you were like, I, I take it on, and I was like, yep, you remind me of my husband. You take it on and you carry it, and I so appreciate you being the person that you are because it was only 8 months later And let me see here. Africa is my sister. And of course, Dana is my brother-in-law. God has truly kept them. How do you handle the days that are challenging and the days? Oh, we just talked about this last night. We just
Whew.
talked about this last
Well, first I want to say hello to my big sister,
night.
Tashana, who is also an invaluable part of my life. And I just have to bring this up. My
Yeah.
sister, I cannot tell you how many times my sister lives in Virginia. I
Hmm.
cannot count the number of times she has surprised me at my house or just come down. And I don't know how she does it. Well, yes, I do. It was the
I do.
Lord. Well, the two of them cook things up together, and I don't know what's going
It
on.
ain't hard to get anything past Africa.
Nothing. Africa could be in the same room and she just right here,
Yeah.
like, what? Now, is she the one that made the shirt for you?
Yes, she is
That's
the
where I
one
got the
who
title of
got
the
the shirt.
podcast.
Yes, Impeccable Strength was my
Hmm.
sister's message. She had those shirts created for us. Um, as far as going forward every day, the challenges, I am still learning how to cope. I realized just yesterday that a lot of times I'm still masking things,
Mm-hmm.
still masking, and it's not necessarily a good thing.
Hmm.
I'm learning that I'll put on a brave face a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Again, not wanting this demon called cancer to take anything else from me.
Yeah.
But most definitely, first and foremost, is my faith in Jesus and his healing power and his strength. I have to talk to him all day. There's this there's this thought, and as far as when you watch TV and you see someone ring a bell, breast cancer patients,
Mm.
or someone tells you, well, I'm not taking the same medication that I was before, I'm doing something different, it's not as strong as it was. There's this notion, and I was guilty of it, that, oh, there's an end point,
Mhm.
but there is no end point. And I love that you brought up my old life, because it is what I call my old life, because that Africa doesn't exist anymore. She can't, because she had no idea. She was not exposed to what I'm exposed to now. And there was a death. There was a death. There was a death of Africa pre-cancer.
Yeah.
And that has been one of the most challenging things for me, learning how to live again. And again, I realized last night that I still have some work to do.
Hmm.
And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for being able to acknowledge that. I'm not always happy.
Hmm.
Sometimes the smile on my face is hiding and masking a lot of pain. The side effects are they can be crippling at times. And I'll just be transparent. Last night, I was on my kitchen floor
Hmm.
crying, and he had to come and get me. But the Lord sent him to come and get me. And I thank God that I can be transparent,
Thank
that
you
it's
for
so
being
powerful.
so. I don't mean to cut you off, but I thank you.
It's
I
okay.
thank you and your husband for being so transparent. I thank you for allowing me to be a part of this. This is a personal thing. And I was able to be there with you guys the
Yeah,
second time that
yeah,
you received it, and then you went and you got a second opinion. And I seen your husband in that space of taking care of you when he is sitting across from a doctor. I'm sitting in the room, he's in the room, and all he's doing is protecting you. And to see that, I've seen it from me being the wife sitting there and watching my husband do it. But Dana, to see you sit there and you directed the whole conversation, whether you know it or not, you directed the flow of it. You said, yes, it's okay for her to stay in, right? And then let's talk about that. Let's talk about that moment, because Dana, that was so powerful to me. I came home, I talked to my husband, and I said, thank you, because I was able to see it from a different lens.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about what brought on your second opinion at UNC. Walk me
When
through it.
after being diagnosed, I was in the hospital due to going through my first mode of chemo. Again, the first time I was diagnosed, it was just a double mastectomy. The second time, I was stage 4. I had cancer all over my body. And I was advised that I needed to do chemotherapy. Um, and right now, I'm having a moment. I'm having chemo fog right now. It's
It's
one of
okay.
those fun
Okay,
things.
There you go,
basically,
Dana.
basically, before even the chemo, before she even found out she was going to do chemo, when we were in the hospital room and you were in there with us, Gina, the doctor basically said uh, there was nothing that they can do
Mhm.
at all.
At all.
So it's not. I was about to say pretty much no. They said that she wasn't going to make it.
Yeah.
Um, and going back, what made me go to Chapel Hill for the second opinion was my sister-in-law, Lisa Moore.
Hmm.
She is a powerful woman of God, and she shared with me a dream she had. And she said, Africa, you need to go for a second opinion.
Hmm.
And again, I'm so thankful my oncologist here, Dr. Tariq Nazir, was all for it.
Hmm.
Again, provided Chapel Hill with everything that they needed for that second opinion. And I'm so glad. And they agreed. I was given another option, but
Hmm.
they did agree with what he had going on for me, what I was assigned, the amount of chemo. It was basically my choice of
Yeah.
what I wanted to do,
And,
which was very challenging. And thank God
mhm.
I have a man of God who could help me with that as well,
Yeah.
because it's something I wasn't in the mind space to be able to. I needed help.
Yeah. And you remember, Dana, Africa had to leave out of the room. She needed a moment. Africa, do you know um, at that moment what you were feeling? Can you remember what you were feeling when you were leaving out of that room?
I felt as if all of my bodily functions were crashing.
Hmm.
It was fight or flight.
Hmm.
I, I I never thought that I could emulate or understand PTSD, but I
Hmm.
guess in I could kind of liken it to that.
Hmm.
I was staring death. Death was right in front of me, staring me in my face.
Yeah.
And I had to run away. I had to get away from everything.
And
And there was no thought, there was no rhyme, there was no reason. I just got up and I ran down the hallway.
mhm. And I, your husband and the doctor were talking, so I went on and left out the room, and I went to go find you because I knew which bathroom you would be in because I've been in that same bathroom. And when I opened up the door and seen you, my friend, it was I can't even explain the moment that we shared.
It was a God moment.
Mm,
It was a God moment,
yeah.
definitely. You were placed there strategically by our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ to represent his arms for me. That's
And
what you were. You were a vessel used to hold me. Your arms were my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ's arms.
I again thank you for being who you are. Like your sister said, you're so amazing. And Dana, when we came back, you took total charge. It was time for me to go, and it was time for you and your wife to discuss what was next. So on that drive home, you're coming home. I'm glad that, even though the choice was hard, I'm glad that there were two choices. I'm glad that both doctors agreed and UNC even followed you during that time. And that was amazing to see, because when I was going for my second opinion, my first doctor was like, "Oh, you going to UNC? Well, what we doing here?" Like, I got no more phone calls, no more nothing. And I felt like I was starting over again. So to have that collaboration is nice. And now that you're going back to your hometown and you're starting what life is now, because there ain't nothing new and normal about this stuff.
No.
That new normal, I know we use it as a catchphrase. I get it. Just like pink is powerful because, the power of pink.
No more pink.
Yeah.
I don't want any more pink.
Africa, say it again. Don't send me nothing else pink. But I do understand the power of pink. I understand that there's power in the power of pink. However, I was the same way. Don't send me nothing else pink. I don't want to see nothing else pink. Because coming home and dealing with you guys are dealing with. So now we know, and just like you said, you were having that moment with chemo fog. I'm having that moment with the hot flashes because I'm not old enough, but because of chemo, it's blessing me. And I'm looking for my tissue. This is real life right here.
Yes, it is. It's funny that you're saying that because I'm experiencing side effect as well. I feel fatigue like you would not believe right now. And that comes at any point in time of the day. It can happen in the morning. It can happen midday, any time of the day. I can be in the grocery store and this fatigue just comes over. It's like a lion that pounces over you. So that's funny. We're both experiencing some side effects right now.
Right now. And you can be 10 years out. You can be 1 year out. You still have the side effects. My glasses are fog up. Chemo fog is real. I'm actually working for a doctor to come on and talk about it because I was able to work with this doctor. Not work with him. He came to one of our support groups and he shared to let us know that it is real. So I love that. Now, this is one of my favorite people. Toma, let's embrace all women of cancer colors. This is so true. You learn when you're going through cancer and you learn about the stages and you learn that there's so many different things, but there's so many different cancers out there and we want to treat all of them. Yes. So how is life now, Africa? And Dana, I'm going to thank you. And I'm going to go ahead and let you go because you have sat patiently and I'm going to get the next 15 minutes with your lovely wife. Is that okay?
Well, he just got a question from our brother.
Well, let's go.
This is my sister's beautiful husband, one of my favorite people.
Dana, how do you stay encouraged?
Well, my church family. They keep me strong, my brothers and sisters. After we have fun. I mean, we do have fun,
Love it.
We're not just husband and wife. We're best friends. She's my only friend, as a matter of fact. Now, when I got married, she became my only friend.
I remember when I said, "Do you mind if I talk to your husband?" You said you can call me. You don't remember that?
I don't remember.
You don't remember that? It was in the midst of having our conversation after we met at the house. He was like, "You can call me." It wasn't anything like that. It was just so funny because I know if I call one, I'm gonna get the other.
That's true. Or you may just get both of us like you did last night
at the same time. Dana, this is your favorite picture. Tell me why.
She looks like she's looking at me.
Yes.
And that's my screensaver picture. So anytime I'm at work and I'm just ready to go and it's not a good day and I'm dealing with crazy people, I look at my screensaver and she looks like she's looking at me and I see those eyes and I get stronger. I say, let's go finish out the day.
I love it. And see, I'm not trying to kick you off. Y'all don't understand. I had a whole conversation yesterday with Dana and with Africa, and we chopped it up. I think we were on for about 45 minutes. It turned into a long conversation. And I asked at the last minute, Dana, can you come on? And at the same time, I said, can you come on for Africa, please? And Africa said, honey, can you come on, please? We said it at the same time. So literally, you sitting here, I am so glad. So I'm not trying to kick you off. I want you to stay on. Look at this. Tell me what this picture means to you guys. When was this taken?
This was taken.
That was after probably probably about 3 sessions of chemotherapy. Mm-hmm. That was a good day. Yeah. I was feeling really good that day. And as a matter of fact, there's a big story behind that. My husband has been my hairdresser for years. Mm-hmm. And he was the one who cut my hair when my hair started falling out. I'm thankful that he was home. It wasn't something that I would have wanted to do anywhere else. But after I got tired of looking in the mirror, seeing patches everywhere, I just came to him and I said, I want you to cut my hair.
Yeah.
And there was a lesson there because I did not realize what I was asking him to do. Mm-hmm. He had to share with me later what I was asking him to do and what that meant for him. And he may want to share a little bit about
Please
that.
Please do.
Well, with that right there, it was something I didn't want to do. Mm-hmm. And I know it was tough for her with patches of her hair coming out every time. Pretty much, if she touched her hair, a piece of it was coming out. And that was tough for me because I guess when you think of people with cancer and people that's taking chemo and stuff like that, that's what you see, their hair falling out. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I've never known anybody that had this until her. Mm-hmm. So when she asked me to cut her hair, I didn't want to do it at all. That was a hard thing for me to do. But the only reason why I did it is because she wanted me to do it.
She asked you
to, just because she wanted me to do it, and that's the only reason why I did it.
And the funny part is, it was a relief for me.
Yeah.
I have pictures after he cut my hair. I took a deep breath and I was smiling because just watching my hair fall out was too traumatic. Yes. So as soon as the hair was gone, I felt a release. I felt a peace. And I had no idea as my husband was sweeping up my hair that he was in pain. I had no idea. He didn't share that with me until months later. But that's the type of person he is. He was shielding me from how he was feeling so that I could have my moment.
There are so many moments between couples that are unspoken. So many things that we don't say to each other. We just do. And I don't know about you, but I found out a lot of things that my husband did that took his breath away. That was hard. I remember us having a conversation. I don't know if you recall when you said you were tired. You're putting that mask on that you're happy. And I told you, I used to set the clock to 3 o'clock before my husband would get home, just so I could be sitting up straight because of what the cancer and the treatments and the mental exhaustion was doing. And you were like, okay, it's okay to have those moments, right? But we don't give ourselves those moments to have. And the same thing is true for our husbands and our caregivers, our spouses. We need to have those moments and we need to share. So those moments that you guys have been sharing lately, how has it been? What has the discussion been about? I know we said we're going to talk about everything. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate that because so many times we don't. So what does life look like for you guys now?
Well, we're making plans. We're making plans to travel. We're making plans to purchase some things, some large things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so things are looking up. Things are looking up. It's been a long time coming.
Mm-hmm.
We've been
Yeah.
dealing with these things since what, 2014,
Yeah.
2015,
2014.
2014. So you know things are looking up. So we making plans and everything, and so that's kind of where it's working out. At now we have our youngest is 17. He's about to go away to college pretty soon, and
Oh, wow.
it's just gonna be me in Africa. We're gonna have an empty nest.
Woo!
Oh my goodness. What are y'all gonna do with yourself? Everything.
Lots of fun.
Lots of fun.
Go
Lots
to
of
the
fun.
beach, your favorite place.
Yes.
Yes,
And I
that
know
is my favorite place. And I thank God. I love the fact you have been so in tune with me and who I am. The pictures that you've chosen, the picture at the beginning of the segment of the beach. The beach is one of my favorite places. Anyone who knows me knows I love the beach. That is one of my coping aspects. I will get on YouTube and click on a beach and just look at the water. If I'm
wow.
not near it, I do that. That helps me. Looking out of a window, I love looking at the sky now. I'm sure you can attest to this.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing birds
Mm.
in the morning is not like hearing birds pre-cancer.
Yeah.
It's totally different. Again, I'm learning every day how to live again because I'm reborn
Yeah.
spiritually, physically, in every way. My whole body chemistry
Yes.
is different, down to the way I smell is different.
Mm-hmm.
My hair texture is different. That's one of my favorite things to bring up the conversation. People will uh, say something about my hair. And I'm like, well, this isn't the hair I've always had. I loved my hair before, but
Yeah.
it's easier to comb now.
Yeah. I remember when I was taking a tour through the chemo center, and this woman said, "Oh, I love your hair." Now you know I'm a patient. You know I'm about to come, and you know it's about to all fall on the floor. But they were, "Her hair is so pretty." I was like, "Okay." So what's some of the things that people have said to you guys, and you're just like,
Woo!
okay, they
Oh my gosh.
they meant
Okay.
well.
This this is one of the worst things, and bless their hearts. Okay. So one of them is, oh, you have breast implants because you had to get your breasts removed. They can have mine too. That's that's not so good. It doesn't feel good.
Doesn't
Um,
feel good.
Another one, when they find out you're a cancer patient or you go, oh, well, my family member or my mother or my brother had that and they died.
Mm-hmm.
Not realizing that you are holding on with every bit of strength you have left to life, and they
Mm-hmm.
bring up death. But I've gotten really good with that. The Lord has taught me I don't allow people to speak death to me.
Mm-mm. No.
I
You,
was a very passive person before cancer. That's another thing that's changed about me. In a lot of areas, I was passive.
mm-hmm.
When it comes to my health, I'm not anymore, not passive. And I don't allow people to speak death to me. They
Amen. We
and
were
they want.
we were having a conversation. You was like, "No, I have healing on this side." I said, "Yes, you do." So let me be clear.
I forgot about that.
I love our conversations because I can
Yeah.
talk to you about what's really going on. You can talk to me. I have those people in my life, from Talanya to Jeanette to Toma to all the people that I've met over the years, that they understand. And we can say these things. And we shared last night that sometimes it's somebody that's gone through, have seen where you've been or had a glimpse of it. That is so important. Now, your sister said your mommy, your dad, daddy, and mommy love you so much. Thank you for
Wow.
loving and taking good care. of my precious princess. Oh my goodness.
I have
And
got to speak. Thank God. I'm so glad that you brought my parents into this. I will be 47. Will I be 47, honey?
Yeah.
Another brain fog.
Hey,
guys,
16.
I always have to ask him how old I am.
mhm,
In May, I will be 47 years old. I still, and I'm so grateful because I know everyone does not have them, but I still have my mother and father on this side, and they have always been supportive. Always. My parents are jewels to me. They're priceless to me. And if you're looking at me, you're seeing my mom and dad.
yes.
They've
And
instilled so much into me.
they have. And you know what? One of our guests has said that, people need to know how to talk to people when they're going through, patients who are dealing with cancer, family members who are dealing with cancer. And the fact that you have your husband, the fact that you have your sister, the fact that you have your family and your parents, they had to learn how to talk to you too when
Yes.
coming to it. And then they have to deal what's going on with you as well. So then
Yes.
you are the champion husband. Yes, you are. I am here. Dana,
I
aren't you glad you said it?
Yeah, I am. I am.
Thank
I
you
am.
so much. I'm telling you guys, it was just supposed to be Africa. So I'm so happy. We just got the spelling of his name and popped it up there and changed the lighting and moved the camera, and then we were on.
Yes,
Right?
ma'am.
You were on. Well, Dana, what's something that you would say to other caregivers, other men, other spouses that are going through this with their wife?
Um, what I would say is, of course, we're not doctors, we're not nurses, we're not anything like that. But the most important thing I would say is to be there.
Mm, be
That's
there.
what your spouse needs at that time. You may not be able to do anything, but just being there, even if you don't say anything to each other, even
Mhm.
if she's just sick or she's just weak, just you being there, that's what she needs at that time.
At that time,
So
be present,
that's,
right?
yes, be present, be there, be helpful,
Yeah.
be very helpful. And I mean, that's all you can really do. That's all you can really do. I'm not a doctor. I'm
Yeah.
just loving my wife.
Yeah. Dana, you are so amazing. So many men need your wisdom. Now, Jeanette Gregory is that person to me. I will talk to her. She was the one where when I was diagnosed, I went and got a mammogram because she said go get one in one of her speeches.
Mhm. Mhm.
But she actually put a book together for men who help men help their wives go through this. And if you don't know, in February I did a whole month of just men who were going through, men who were caregivers, just men to talk about how do you deal? What do you do? Because it's not talked about a lot as a caregiver, right? Because life still goes on. We were talking about this last night. Life keeps going. While cancer is sitting there right there, life's still going. So, guys, I am so happy that you took this time to be with me. I'm not ready to go just yet, but we'll go shortly. But, Africa, I want to talk to you about how you are doing now, not the sugarcoat of how you're doing. I want
Mhm.
to know how you're doing now.
It has been very, very challenging, especially the last few months.
Mhm.
I've gotten very, very tired. And I mean, of course, physically I get tired, but I'm talking about mental. The
Mhm.
mental fatigue is and can be very overwhelming.
Mhm.
Having to deal with symptoms that can come on at any time of the day, waking up not knowing how you're going to feel, because that's usually, now I do say thank you every
Mhm.
morning that I think up, and wake up, and I'm very grateful to wake up in the morning, and I always speak to the Lord first. However, after that, I have to decide, no matter what's going on in my body, that I have to get up. And you mentioned the exercise. That is paramount for me. Without exercise, I know that I would still be in the bed. I
Mhm.
know that I would still be in the bed. And I'm grateful because my Holy Spirit, Jesus, constantly pushes me to do it the 5 days a week.
The
He
five
pushes
days.
me. There are times when my husband is like, Africa, why don't you take a break? And I'm like, no, I can't take a break. Let's go.
Hmm.
But that's the whole, greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. It is the Lord driving me. But to be truthful, even with all of that, it is still very trying. Not learning how to know yourself, this new you, there's not really a pamphlet on it.
Hmm.
You have to totally rely on faith and believing, because the enemy does not stop. Cancer has not stopped wanting to kill me since 2014. Just because it's not present in my body doesn't mean that it doesn't whisper to me, because it does all the time. And I have to constantly stay prayed up, constantly speak the word, and constantly read and rehearse it over and over again. The word has had to become a part of me, just like breathing. And sometimes that next breath is hard, and I have to fight for that next breath. But I'll keep doing it, because the Lord, when I feel like I can't go anymore, He always comes in. The fact that I'm sitting in front of you today with a real smile on my face, when just yesterday, 24 hours ago, I was sitting on my kitchen floor crying, lets you know that our God, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, is real and He's powerful. And He's going to continue to take me through, and I'm going to rely on that. And I know things are only going to go up from here, because I've already experienced some of the worst.
Hmm.
So I'm believing that as I continue to go each and every day, that it's going to get better and better, because I'm believing that I have a lot more time with this handsome gentleman over here. And I'm going to,
Yes, yes, yes. Because some people don't know. They said a year
they said a year, 2 years at the most,
most.
back in 2015.
Yes.
We're in 2021. Even
Mm.
during the pandemic, Jesus has kept me safe. I was one of those people, the underlying condition, all of these different things in the atmosphere, and the Lord has kept me. I have not been hospitalized in, I don't even remember the last
Yeah.
time I was hospitalized. I don't
Your
remember.
surgery, maybe. That's it.
But
Yeah.
I thank God He is keeping me. And of course,
Circumstance.
going forward, I have to make some big decisions as to what I need to do to live this life that the Lord is calling me to live.
Mm-hmm. Because
I
quality of
want
life.
to live well, and I want to live blessed.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, I also have to face some fears.
And when you
And
face that fear,
yes,
you can fight with an open heart. I don't know if you remember at the beginning of the podcast, when I finished your podcast, I knew there was something that I wanted to say to you about if you face that fear. Because everybody says, well, if you believe in fear, then you don't have faith. Mm-mm. Nope. But if I can face that fear and acknowledge that it exists, then I can
yes,
fight with an open heart.
yes,
And Africa, that's exactly what you're doing. You have blessed so many people during your time on your journey on this live. And I truly want to thank you, my friend, for coming on and sharing your story, your love story, your testimony, your journey, you name it. You shared it. And Dana, you just don't know how much I want to thank you. You have blessed my soul. We're going on 10 years. Saturday will be our anniversary. And I always try to kind of separate the cancer anniversary with the anniversary, but they all happen at the same time. And my husband says if I acknowledge both, that just shows that we're still here. So guess what I'm doing? I'm acknowledging both. And you guys are actually sitting in for his podcast that was supposed to come out tomorrow on Saturday because he's not ready. And Dana, thank you for being ready.
No
So I
problem.
appreciate you.
We
So-
want to thank you so much for this
Thank you, Gina.
platform. Thank you for being more than a friend. Thank you for being my mentor. I'm older than you, but Lord knows sometimes, a lot of the time, your maturity in this walk is amazing. And I'm looking at you and seeing another part of my journey, connecting with you through
Amen.
your sister. And I love you. Thank you so much.
I love you and happy anniversary, guys.
Happy
Enjoy.
anniversary.
Thank you, because y'all right around the corner. You guys stay on. I just want to chat a little bit with the audience. Thank you, Dana. Thank you so much, Africa. It has been a pleasure. And thank you to everybody who has stayed on, joined us, asked those questions. Guys, we have to make sure that we're talking about this glow. It's not always pretty and pink. I felt like I was jumped into a gang and no one understood. If you can mentor, if you can be an advocate of your own care, please do. Don't be scared about the second opinion. And it's okay to have your moment. So make sure you guys continue to watch. Catch us next week. You can also email us at chemoglow@gmail.com. I would love to hear your glow. So just remember that the glow doesn't define me. I define the glow. I am so happy right now. Peace.